Good evening, everybody. This is Kim Archer, and welcome to this week's edition of Living the Dream, your 5-minute tips to fame. We are in the height of release season, many of you releasing new music, getting reviews, and being asked for interviews. So today we're going to talk about how to give a great interview. Regardless of who is doing the interview or exactly what type of interview it is, there are about 3 main things you want to try to accomplish. The most obvious is to inform and educate your audience. Who are you? What is it you do exactly? Where can they see you? And how can they get tickets? Also, remember to let them know how to find you again. Particular questions you may be asked concerning this are, where's your next show? Where can we see you? How can we find you online? You want to make sure and have your schedule in your memory for the next week or two and any large shows coming up, because this is your opportunity to promote them. Another obvious purpose of the interview is to entertain. So you want to be ready for the in-studio performance that's usually included. Make sure you've picked a good song that represents you well, that you perform it well. Remember, again, this may be the one time, or more importantly, the first time that people have ever seen you play. So you want to make sure to bring your A game. Okay, the third and absolute most important thing to accomplish during the interview, and a major purpose of why you were asked to be interviewed, is people want to know more about your real personality. So you want to try and reveal as much of that as possible during that interview. A good idea is to have a list that maybe spans over the previous 3 or 4 years of your music career, and pick some things that are milestones for you, things that really changed. Maybe you moved into a market, or you released a particular CD, or you wrote a particular song that meant a lot to you. These are all career milestones, and so you need to have a list of these things so that when you're asked questions, you can not only just answer with factual information, but you can really tie something personal to it. It helps the audience get to know you, to feel like they're sitting in your living room just talking with you, as opposed to you doing kind of a stiff, just informative sort of interview. It's a great thing to have some specific stories or examples that are genuine that you can share with people. Maybe there's something really funny that happened to you during a show, or something really scary, maybe. Whatever it may be, you have a history, and people want to know about that. So pick those things that are very interesting, that you can tell a good story, that's short. That's important too. If you tell stories, make sure they're short and sweet. Okay, if you take away nothing more from this segment today than this one point, this is it. Preparation. Preparation is the most important part of an interview. I mean, think about it. You practice your instrument, you practice your singing, you practice with your band. How often do you practice giving an interview? This is a time when having those close friends who can help you out comes in real handy. Let them sit across from the couch from you and interview you, ask you questions, so that you can practice getting smooth and comfortable in giving answers. Okay, some specific questions that I suggest you prepare for, because they tend to come up frequently. The first is, what inspires you? Here's another example where you can be as personal as is appropriate, and I suggest you go as far as you feel comfortable. Another one is, what do you enjoy about playing music? What do you enjoy about your career? Have that ready. There are a number of things I'm sure that you enjoy about it, so pick a few and be able to tell them smoothly. Also, things like, what was your most memorable show, or maybe what's the craziest thing that ever happened to you? Again, all of these are based around the interviewer getting more information out of you to reveal your personality. That's the main goal here. So just make sure that you have a lot to work with, and a lot that you can pull off the top of your head, and that you're prepared so it comes across smooth, and you can smile at people and just be comfortable. That's really important. Okay, here are a few tips that I can offer about doing an interview and preparing for one. First of all, make sure that you let the interviewer lead. Remember, they do this more than you do. They're the experts. So let them lead you through the questions. Listen to the questions that they ask so that you make sure you answer it. Another very important thing is to speak clearly. You get one shot, and if somebody has a hard time understanding you, they're less likely to listen to what you're saying. Another important thing to remember is to look at the interviewer during the interview. Now, this is whether you're on camera or not. It gives a personal sort of touch to it, lets them know you're listening, you're engaged in the conversation, and it just makes the interview come off much more professional. And if you are doing an interview on camera, make sure that you look the audience in the eye. Look right in that camera and smile at them. Again, this is your one shot to make a personal connection with them. Okay, and most importantly, this would be the second most important thing I'll probably say during this segment, and that is thank the person interviewing you first. Most people wait till the end and someone says, hey, it's been real great having you today. Thanks for coming in. And then you say, hey, it's been great. Thanks for having me. What if you do something they don't expect? And that is, as soon as you start to answer that first question, say, hey, first, I really want to thank you for having me today. This is really exciting to be here, and I just really thank you for the opportunity. When you do things that people don't expect, it gets their attention, and that's what an interview is all about. And I guarantee that that is something they'll be talking about long after you leave the studio. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Living the Dream, your 5-minute tips to fame. This is Kim Archer. Check me out at kimarcherband.com. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.